All right, let's see if this works. Hello, hello, hello. My, there we go. Okay. Stuff decides to work when it wants to work. Okay, so hi everybody. I am going to talk about Tour de Fleece today because I know it's only May, but it's important that you get started early in prepping your stuff for Tour de Fleece if you plan on doing Tour de Fleece this year. So the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I am a Tour de Fleece captain for the Greater Los Angeles Spinning Guild this year. And so for the tour, which involves finishing projects that I already have on the bobbins because I have very specific plans. Now, whether you've done Tour de Fleece in the past or not, a little background. Tour de Fleece is a spin along that happens alongside the bike race. So you would be spinning your yarn while the racers are biking during the race. You have challenge days and rest days, and you would take those accordingly. For some people, they may decide, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day. For other people, they have bigger projects. For me personally, what I've decided to do this year is I've decided to spin cotton. So I am currently in the process of finishing off a couple projects and trying to clear off some bobbins so that I will be completely ready with everything all set. Pardon me, I still have a little bit of a cough, but that I'll be all set to start the tour when it begins on July 5th. So basically what I'm working on is that I decided to do a little prep during my weekend at Vista where I started spinning some cotton. So I have some tools out here in front of you, but I'll also be giving you a little breakdown of like what I'm doing personally and what you should be doing in order to prep for Tour de Fleece. So as far as what I had done at Vista, I decided that I was going to spin cotton as practice for the actual tour when I spin cotton, and my intention is to spin cotton the entire tour. Now, I'm generally a person who spins wool or wool blends, alpaca, animal fibers. I don't normally spin any kind of vegetable fibers. It's very rare that I do so. However, I have a very large selection of cotton, and I have taken cotton classes in the past. So I do have all sorts of things. As you can see here, I'll show you some of what I've got. These are some of the things. I sort of overpacked when I went to Vista, and I created an entire cotton bag of things that I could take to get started on and play with. They're in different stages of, how would I put this? Different stages of preparation. So I can go through some of that with you, but I wanted to show you real quick. Like this is natural cotton in what is a cream color and brown cotton. It was just called multicolored cotton, and it was something that I had picked up when I was in Alabama many, many years ago. So this has been sitting in my stash for a very, very long time. I also, while I was in Alabama many, many years ago, picked up this, which is a Pima cotton. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. Maybe I'll put it down here so you can see it, the color. It's Pima cotton and recycled jeans, 50-50. So recycled blue jeans, denim. And like I said, that's 50% and 50%. So I have that put aside. And then I also have just some natural cotton here and a cream, and I don't know how well you can tell, but this is actually a green cotton. It's my understanding, and because I'm not as familiar with cotton, that when you have green cotton and you boil it, it turns greener. Right now it kind of looks like a khaki color. So I have these two here. And these are just small samples that I had that I took with me. I actually have bigger bags of some of this stuff back in my stash. I also had this cotton, which is not really prepped. It's all just kind of like chunky and let me hold it against something dark. It's all chunky, as you can see. Hi, Nicole. And this gave me this particular, and actually I'll hold it up here. You can see it's kind of like lumpy and bumpy and very choppy. I spun this cotton just straight from the bag. I didn't do any prep on it. I didn't comb it, none of that. It just came straight from the bag. Same thing goes for this brown cotton that I have. Obviously my light is pretty hot, but as you can see here, it's a really pretty brown color. And that is this cotton right here. That is a mystery cotton. It still has VM in it. It's all chunky and stuff. It's very, very soft. I don't know who this came from. I want to say somebody at Guild probably gave this to me. So I have that as well. And then what I did actually spin, because I brought all of these things and didn't actually spin any of them. These were all spun before. I also had some of my own dyed cotton from a cotton workshop I took many, many years ago prior to COVID. So you'll see some of this, like I've got blues and purples and this neon green. Those all came from that dye workshop. We also had a cotton workshop with Joan Ruan, I believe is her name, where we did cotton spinning on our wheels. So as you can see, here's some pinks and purples, some natural color cotton. It's all chunky and it needs to be combed. At one point, I did have a couple of small dog brushes that I made tiny poonies with, and I'm talking like small brushes. So I've been thinking about playing with some of that stuff, but so that's these bobbins right here. But then at Vista, I used this is a John Galen's Designs Tockley spindle. It's a support spindle. I also have bowls for it. As you can see, I have a metallic bowl. This one's one of my favorite bowls. They got some fiber in them. And then this bowl. Now this bowl, I mean, it's like enamel coated with the fun metallic paint, so it's not making too much of a noise when you're spinning. This is the fun one. So this is an old school bowl, and I do have some small supports for them that I don't have sitting here at my desk. But the cool thing about these bowls is that they ring like bells when you hit the sides of them. So this is kind of fun to use as long as you're not worried about being quiet. So I used my John Galen's Design Tockley spindle to spin some cotton I got from Nicole. This cotton, it says New World Textiles Confetti 100% cotton 4 ounces. Nicole looks like she's in the chat, so I don't remember where she said she got this. I don't know if you said you got this at Vista, but I started spinning this, which is really, really pretty. And it has this really great, let me see where my camera's at, really kind of fun confetti effect. Wow, that light is really, really hot. But I can also do this too. So you can see that you get like the pops of color in it, which are super fun. So I had filled up this spindle, which then I transferred to a bobbin. How did you wind it on the bobbin, Stacy? I ordered myself a, oh, okay. She can't remember where she got it. I thought maybe you said Vista, but I wasn't sure if maybe it came from WEF too. Who knows? But this is a coffee frother that I cut the end off and folded, and it spins, and you could put a bobbin on here. It does get hot after a while, so you kind of have to, like, you know, do what your heart tells you. So that's how I wound it off yesterday, using a coffee frother. So that's my coffee frother, purchased for cheap. It's like $5. I had one before that I bought from one of the cotton spinners. I don't recall who it was. It was $5, and I burned out the motor. So I'm fully anticipating burning out the motor on this. It also doesn't have the best batteries in it, I don't think, because it was working kind of halfway yesterday. So I made that yesterday. And then I started spinning on, this is a hip string spindle. And this is very different than this John Galen spindle, because this spindle has heft. It's metal. It's got a bead at the bottom. This one is made with, I'm going to say the shaft is carbon fiber, and the bottom, yeah, that goes for most of us. Stash is a blur. But the bottom whorl on this one is made out of acrylic, so it is very light, and it spins for a very long time. So you can see, like, it's going, and it just stays going. It's really great. Now, it doesn't spin as long in this particular bowl, but you can hear it still rings. I was using the glass bowl yesterday, and it would go for a really long time. So, and I believe this glass bowl also came from Hip Strings. I think the bowl I got from my friend Ash, and the spindles, I have 3 different sizes of these, came in a D-stash that I saw on Ravelry. So I do have additional ones. Now, one of the things about Vista is that it's fun because I get to show off my cool tools and what I keep them in. Here are the other 2 sizes that I have in my handy dandy spindle case. And what do you use as a spindle case, Stacy? It's quite literally Han Solo frozen in carbonite popcorn bucket from Disneyland. And this is what I keep my spindles in. And it's usually a pretty big hit. So that's what I started doing in order to prep for my tour de fleece, because for me personally, I'm spinning cotton. Now, for those people who are not spinning cotton, but spinning in general, something you need to do right now so that you have your stuff ready for tour de fleece is you need to make sure that your wheel is in good working order. For this, I am actually spinning because I need to finish spinning this fiber, which is wool. I want to say it's a wool and alpaca, black alpaca blend. The color is ultraviolet. It looks blue on screen. Trust me, it's very, very bright purple, like eye-searing purple. And I got this fiber at Alexandra and the Art of Yarn. So this is something that I started in November at SoCal Fiber Fair, and I'm still working on it. Obviously, I have quite a lot to do because this is the rest of it over here that I have in a bag. So my goal is to make sure, number 1, my wheel is in working order. Everything should be greased and cleaned. Do as I say, not as I do. Mine's very dusty. It's been sitting here a while. So, I will be spinning while I talk about what you need to do so I can finish my stuff. Okay, so a couple of things to think about when you're prepping your wheel for Tour de Fleece. You should make sure everything's in good working order. Do you have all of your, if you have an e-spinner, your cords, power source, are your batteries charged? That's a really good one. Let's say, for example, you're going to be going to a spin along with other people on your particular Tour de Fleece team. Let's say you're going to your local guild, or you're going to a knit night so you can work on your Tour de Fleece stuff once July 5th happens. And you don't have really close access to a power source, you'll need to have batteries. So I would say invest in some batteries, whatever works for your wheel. I won't bring mine out, but mine are like the book size batteries. I have two of them. And I use them both. And because one of them's older, it doesn't hold a charge as well. So there are times where I might go someplace for the weekend and I might have just enough charge in both batteries to get me through the weekend. While I'm here at home, I do have a power source here that my lights and everything else is connected to, so I can just plug it in, which is great. And for e-spinners, a lot of us have a pedal, much like a sewing machine, so we can turn it off and on. So that's something to take into consideration. Another thing to take into consideration is making sure that you have tools that you need to fix your wheel. Do you have do you have screws, or I don't know, what would you need? For me, I have a tiny screwdriver that sits in my toolkit. Make sure that you have your orifice hook, because you will need an orifice hook in order to pull your leader or your yarn through the orifice of your wheel. Now, most e-spinners operate different than regular wheels. A regular wheel, you have all of the parts. You have your treadles and your wheel itself and your mother of all. An e-spinner basically just represents the mother of all for a wheel, with your bobbin and your flyer. There's my orifice, as you can see. I do not have an orifice reducer. Please don't judge me. I mean, I have one, I'm just not using it. And I'm finding that I'm spinning just fine without it. You should make sure that you have the particular oil or grease that you need for your wheel. For my wheel in particular, I have a couple different things, because in general, I might travel with this or something else. Or you never know if somebody's going to ask for something because they forgot something in their toolkit. So you can get, there's a grease type oil that's like a silicone that's really easy to use. For this one, I've used the oil. It's a little bit easier. Same brand, but yeah, make sure you have your spinning wheel oil. Do you have extra drive bands? Do you have extra hemp or whatever for tensioning? For example, I have a Jensen Tina sitting here behind me where you can't see, and my Jensen Tina, I will not be able to spin it on unless I either look into seeing if I can replace my tensioner. It was broken in a freak dog ball accident, or maybe potentially whittle my own. We'll see. I'm very into making stuff lately, as you can tell by my coffee frother thing. So you should make sure that all of the parts of your wheel are in working order, and if anything might become broken or is a point of weakness in your wheel, tensioner, drive bands, etc., then by all means you should have extras of those in your kit. And you should always have your wheel oil / grease. So those are something you should have. If you're not using a wheel for Tour de Fleece, then make sure that your spindles are in good working order. I've already been trying mine and everything works fine because I'm using essentially metal or carbon fiber support spindles / Tockley spindles. But if you're using wooden spindles or drop spindle, support spindle, whatever, you should make sure that maybe you've given it a nice spa day. And for that, you can get some Murphy's oil soap and make sure you get some nice like wood conditioner that you can put on there and let it have a little drink. You'll be all set and you'll be good to go. So this is the project that I'm personally trying to finish so I can clear off my bobbins. That's the next step. Once you know that you have all of your pieces, you've ordered everything that you need, all of your spare stuff for your wheel, then what you'll need to do is start clearing off your bobbins. I know that many of us only have a certain amount of bobbins. I know for sure that I do. So one of the things that I need to take into consideration is, so for my personal goal of spinning cotton, I am spinning on Talkleys for part of it. However, one of the types of cotton that I purchased that you didn't see me show earlier is this stuff, which I don't know if I'm pretty sure that Nicole and Colleen, we all went to Flock together, and this particular dyer was at Flock. I'm sure we all got some of this, but it's 316 Dye Studio hand dyed yarn and fiber. This is cotton, and the cool thing about this is that many times when you see cotton, a lot of it will be in natural colors, or when you dye it, it might not be super bright. Honestly, I'm surprised by this green I have. It's fairly bright. Everything else is pretty muted. So those were things that I dyed myself in a class. But in general, when I'm shopping for cotton, the colors I see are fairly muted. It's unusual for me to see very deep colors and very vibrant colors. And this really spoke to me because it's so vibrant. Here, I can show it on this camera too. Like in general, you don't often see something like this. It'd be something you probably feel like maybe you might more see on wool. But the cool thing about this is it's called Easy to Spin Cotton, and it's 2 ounces of cotton sliver. So the small print here says cotton sliver has a definite direction that makes the spinning process smoother, while the opposite end creates more slubs. So if you're having difficulty spinning, try the other end. Now, the way they marketed this at their booth, and I can't speak to it yet because I have not tried it yet. I've got 3 of these. It's supposed to be easy to spin, and you should be able to spin it on your wheel just as you would wool. Now, I've spun cotton on my wheel. It's not my favorite thing because I'm not very good at it, at least in my own opinion. So I'm going to try this and see how it is. My assumption is I am going to have to adjust the way I personally spin, because I spin wool like a semi worsted. I have a very different draft technique. Like, it's kind of an in-between sort of draft technique, which works for me. I don't normally long draw unless I'm spinning on a support spindle. So this I intend to spin on this wheel, and we're going to see how it goes. And I'm really, really hoping that I have success, because I think it's going to be really cool. I mean, this cotton is nice and soft. It's Pima. Hand wash, cold, lay flat to dry. So my assumption is with 6 ounces, I have plenty for a sweater if I wanted to make a sweater. One of the things, though, that I keep thinking about, and we're supposed to have a cotton spinner come to Guild to do some teaching, somebody who's been in our Guild for a long time, who makes a lot of dishcloths and things like that. That's something that I would like to do. I would like to weave more. I have a loom here that I don't know how to use as of yet. I was told that there were some things I needed to do to tweak it, but I haven't yet brought it to Guild to show anybody. So I'm hoping somebody can give me some tips on what I need to do in order to fix it up. It is not a loom that is currently being produced. So I'm hoping that whatever I need to do to it, I can do to it, and it's still a workable piece of, a workable tool. It's called a lily loom, should anybody want to Google it. But anyway, so this is going to be my plan for Tour de Fleece. This, along with the confetti cotton, sorry about my dogs, is my plan. So clearing off the bobbins, I need to finish spinning this yarn. I have this yarn here on this bobbin that I need to clear off. This was all spun on spindles. This is Inglenook Fiberers 12 Days of Christmas from I don't know even know how many years ago, that I plied and is on this bobbin. But and I know people who have followed any of my like Instagram posts from ages ago will also know that I have two of these bobbins, and as you can see, so this my spinning wheel weighs about 4 pounds. I wish I could tell you, like, these hold 5 ounces. I want to say these are supposed to hold 8 ounces. Does that seem right? I don't know. But anyway, maybe more than that. I have this bobbin full of yarn that I need to take off and wind and set. And then I also have orange cumulus also on one of these bobbins behind my computer with the light on it, that I also need to clear off. So that is on my to-do list, but this is a big ass bobbin. It's like, hi, it's bigger than my head. So this is definitely a sweater's worth of yarn. I'm very excited about it. So I'm looking forward to start winding this off. I'm sure I will have an excellent arm workout with that. So these are the bobbins that I plan on clearing off. I do have other empty bobbins, so there is plenty for me to do. And originally my plan was to spin this, and I also have another bump from Alexandra in the same color that was with, has a streak of white through it, and I was going to ply them together, but I've since changed my mind, so I may not spin that other one before Tour de Fleece. The way I see it is I have, how many weeks is this? Today is May 12th. So what, like a month? Almost 2 months? Almost 2 months to finish this up and ply it and get it off the bobbins. So that's my plan. And like I said, there will probably be many pictures of me spinning cotton pardon me, on the Talkleys, but honestly, my main goal is to get this done and then spin these on the wheel, which I'm very nervous about. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm excited about it, because the issue is that, like, we live in Southern California. It's been really freaking hot here. That's why my hair's crazy. But it's so hot that I don't even know how much wool I'm going to be able to stand wearing. I'll only be able to wear it in the winter time, if that. I did tell my mom recently that the only time that I only had to wear my hoodie once this last December, or this last winter season. So it's like not even getting cold, and I have so much wool in my stash that I am looking for something to do with it. Thankfully, I mean, a lot of the spinning that I have is like tiny little bits and whatnot, but for this particular thing, I was like, okay, I could make a sweater out of this. But honestly, I do spin very thin. I don't even know if it's even picking up on camera. There, you can kind of see it at the bottom. I spin very, very thin. And when I thought about plying this with the other purple, the one that has the white streak through it, my thought was, it's going to be too thin. Like, I don't even like knitting with lace weight, but I spin it constantly. So that's a little weird. But I figured I can make this a 3-ply. And if that doesn't feel thick enough, maybe I'll do even more plies than 3, because I can do that. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'm like, a 3-ply is going to be a little bit thicker than me just plying this with the other color. I really do feel like it would be too thin for that. So that is basically my plan. I'm really hoping that I we'll have more people who will sign up for our Tour de Fleece team. We just opened signups for folks who are members of the guild, and I'm just starting to get that put together, thankfully with the help of the person I just dubbed my co-team captain, Drew. And Drew offered to help, and now Drew is going to be a team captain too. So hope that's okay. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I feel like this is the time of year where I create goals for myself on finishing things before Tour de Fleece, and they actually seem to happen because I'm excited about doing spinning for Tour de Fleece. But this year I actually get to cheer other people on, which is great. I'm very excited about it. So I will make sure that I get all of my spinning done, and maybe even try to tune up, one of my traditional wheels. I also have a Canadian production wheel that I haven't used in a while that I think maybe I could probably spin cotton on. I have extra bobbins for it somewhere. So that I had custom bobbins made, so they are in a different location than the wheel itself. But I think that might be another option for me. And I mean, I guess if my goal is to spin cotton the entire tour, I'll need something to up that challenge for me on challenge days. So tour, I don't have the dates in front of me, but if I am not mistaken, the tour runs from July 5th to July 27th. And after that is Tour de Fleece Femmes, which runs from July 26th to August 3rd. And then for the Tour de Fleece proper, the rest days are the 14th and the 20th. And those are the challenge days. Challenge days are the 14th and the 20th, and the rest days would be the 15th and the 21st. That's all coming off the top of my head. So maybe those days are right. I'm pretty sure those days are right. So I will need to find something to up my challenge factor if I'm going to be spinning cotton the whole time. Whether that is, I don't want it to be spinning on my wheel. Not this wheel, because I'm going to need more than 2 days to spin this stuff. But maybe it'll be spinning on my CPW. I haven't decided yet. I do have a little time to figure that out. But in the meantime, it is the time to make sure you have all of your parts and pieces and extra bits and wheel oil and drive bands for whatever it is that your wheel requires. You should have that. You should make sure you have enough free bobbins so that you don't have to worry about scrambling or plying off stuff at the last minute to clear your bobbins off. Make sure you have fiber set aside. Many of the people in our guild are going to be taking part in something called a combo swap for Tour de Fleece. And I mean, I'm taking part in the combo swap, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to spin that for Tour de Fleece. But for the people that are, basically what that is going through your stash and bringing in fiber that you, I don't know, have been sitting on for a while. Nice fiber, wool fiber, but maybe your color palette's changed or your tastes have changed. And so you break it up into 1 ounce bits. And usually we have a scale there so people can weigh their stuff, and for as many ounces as you bring is the amount of ounces that you leave with. So it's done like a snake draft, so like the NFL or NHL drafts. You pick a number and then you can go up and you pick random colors from the table, not maybe necessarily thinking that they might all go together, and then you spin them together. So that's super fun, and that was actually how I got the, for anyone who hasn't seen any previous videos, how I got my squares, this yarn was my combo spin, which was Vintage Christmas. And let's see if I can find a bag. I have a bag in here somewhere of squares. Uh-oh. I can't find it. I have a bag of squares, and those squares are in those colors, and my intention is to put some, I still haven't put them together. I wonder where I stuck that. I must have put it someplace else. But either way, I have a bag of squares in these colors for me to attach to one another to make a shawl. It might be in my to-do bin. But this is the yarn. I'm using commercial yarn to attach them to one another. And these were my pin loom squares were done in these colors. So I still have some of that yarn left, which is nice. And I will do my project out of that. So yeah, so combo spins are fun because you never really know what you're going to get. The one I did last year is so. It's very like clown barfy, even for me, but I imagine once it's knit up, it's probably going to look pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I would say go ahead, go off and get started and consider taking part in your local team for Tour de Fleece. It's actually kind of fun, and it's not like you're competing against each other. It's just an excuse for us to get together and have a good time spinning, which we all like to do anyway. So I highly recommend it, and also it's a good motivator for getting things done, prior to Tour de Fleece. I do have a lot of spinning to do. And I have all the pieces and parts I need should anything on my wheel break, and a backup plan, obviously. So my intention will be to be using my wheel and my spindles for Tour de Fleece, and my new handy dandy milk frother bobbin winder that needs some new batteries in it. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on, and hopefully you all can share in the comments what you're going to be working on for Tour de Fleece, or if you're deciding to do Tour de Fleece. It is a lot of fun. I think